Yo, what up, you guys? It's your boy Kryptonian saying here, bringing you a review for One Piece chapter 216. This is the last chapter of the volume. And, oh, fuck you, Oda. I mean that in a good way. If, you're new to the channel, I mean that in a good way. I don't want people saying, oh, fuck you, Kryptonian. Don't be talking about Oda like that, motherfucker. Like, nah, I mean that shit in a good way. Fuck you, Oda, because that ending where Nami has to pull Luffy to the side and say, look, you can't really, give the Marines proof that Vivi is in cahoots with us. Should be branded a criminal. Don't do that to it. That was, man, the feels. I will tell you the feels are real on that one, man. Like, they have the straw hats. They doing like the fist symbol, the fist in the air. Vivi is crying. You can tell that she really wanted to go with them, but her duty is at the kingdom. So that was cool to see, man. She gives this really beautiful speech. And she's telling the people in the kingdom without actually telling them, like, hey, I went on a journey. I saw these things. I was on a pirate ship. She doesn't say she was on a pirate ship, but she says, I saw this one little ship that never really lost its way. It sailed through the roughest of winds, the harshest of seas. And she's letting people know, like, I was on the Grand Line. I saw some crazy shit. I saw fucking dinosaurs and giants fighting each other. Little do you guys know, like, yo, I helped bring down Baroque works. I saved the kingdom. Like, she's saying all this without saying it. And it's almost like she was speaking to the readers and not so much to the kingdom. So that was cool, man. That was cool to see that. I like how Igaram takes one for the team. He gets exposed as being a fake version of Vivi. And it's also Vivi could slip away and see off Luffy and the others. And I like how Luffy, the whole time, he was just like, hey, we're going to drop the anchor down. Fuck these Navy dudes. We're waiting on BB. And it just shows that Luffy's like, hey, you want to come join my crew? Like, Luffy's got that one-track mind. And that's what I mean. He's so focused on whatever his goal is. You got to admire it. But at the same time, that's why you need characters like Nami on his crew to keep things in the perspective for him, because Luffy wears his heart on his sleeves, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but that can get you in trouble simply for the fact that as you do stuff like that, people are able to read your intentions, they're able to take advantage of you. Sometimes you get people into trouble without actually realizing it. You can't always be straightforward in things, so I like seeing that. I really feel like in some ways Oda writes Luffy's character like that to show us what the best versions of humanity can be. Again, I might be reading too much into that, but that's just what I think. I think Luffy, in an ideal situation, the brain's lacking, obviously. Luffy possesses a lot of the qualities that you would say, this is the ideal person. So I like seeing that. Now, one other thing about Vivi's speech that I thought was very interesting, or rather the ramifications of it, is as she's giving the speech and we're seeing the ship, I'm really wondering, because it's broadcast over the entire kingdom, I'm wondering who in the Navy can hear that. I know the Marines are listening and they're trying to get information, but and some of you have suspicions. They say there's no way that the princess was with that pirate gang. But I'm wondering, is somebody in the Navy hearing this? And if that's the case, I'm wondering how this is going to kind of shape forward. And it's going to affect the plot going forward, because if Luffy and the others are in a situation where they need help and Vivi's able to provide it, somebody's going to be able to go back to the transcript of this. So this is interesting. Oda might have written himself into a corner with this, but I've said that before and I've left it out of videos about certain things, and then he finds a way to kind of work it back into the story where it's not really an ass pull, or it's not something that's completely unbelievable. So I'll give Oda that much, okay? I'll give him that much, but at the same time, I like how Vivi says the bands on our left arms will signify that we're always friends. So it goes into a deeper message. It's something that, I know my demographics have changed since I've started this channel. It's gone more towards the older spectrum. The 18 through 30, like, and that's a big gap, but it's broke like 18 through 24, then 25 through 30. But I know it's changed, but I know I have some younger viewers on here, and I know some of you guys are, in like the at the grade levels that I teach. So I know that's probably possible. Okay, and I'm looking at this and I'm not really understanding where Oda's trying to take this, because on one hand it really seems like Oda's trying to teach like just because you're not together, okay, doesn't mean that you can't be friends. Just because there's a distance between you, the bonds that you submit, those last forever. You never forget your first friends. You never forget your friends, period, okay? And I just like how Oda works that in, but at the same time, I really feel like there was something else that he had planned for that payoff that he didn't actually incorporate. I'm really interested to know whether or not he had an alternate scene written for this, because this feels like there was more than one version cut together. I guess the best way to put this is I saw Suicide Squad not long ago, right? And loved the movie. Thought Will Smith's part was crazy. But at the same time, you could tell that there were multiple versions cut together, and while it did flow together, you could just tell the writer in me was like, this doesn't seem right. There seems like they're changing some shit up. They're just small tonal changes, and it's what happens here. It feels like there are small tonal changes. It feels like there was more than one draft of this chapter. So if somebody has information on that, let me know down below. But one other thing, again, Oda tells you without actually telling you that Luffy, because he's got the devil fruit, and he said it early on, and we saw it a few times, because Luffy almost drowned a couple of times, but Luffy, when he's fighting and he's stretching out and everything, he's staying right on the rails. So this is going to be interesting to see how this is going. This is why, for all the shit that some of you guys give Usopp, this is why you need Usopp, because he's a sharp shooter. And with battles like this is where Usopp's going to make his bread and his butter. This is where he's going to make it. Zoro and Sanji, those are your guys, close quarters combat. That's who's going to get you out. Nami, quick thinking, knows the seas. That's who's going to get you out this situation. But Usopp is the one, like, that's the bread and butter. He's going to be able to buy them time with his shooting skills. So I like how Oda demonstrates a whole lot at this point, and it sets up different things going forward. But I got to say, as far as like chapter-wise, this wasn't the best chapter, but the feels definitely just pack a punch at the end. Great way to end the volume. My chapter question for you guys is, what did you think about Vivi's decision? Did you think she needed to go with the crew? Or do you think she made the right decision to say, that's all right, my time's come. We had a great time together. It's time to move on. We'll always be friends, but I can't continue on this journey with you. I think she made the right choice, but at the same time, if it was me, I would have gone. Okay, and the reason why is I don't like having certain things left unturned. Okay, like the kingdom's gonna be there. You have the chance of a lifetime to join pirates and see more adventures. But at the same time, I can understand it. She's already gotten a taste of adventure. She was an undercover agent for years. Like, she's lived the dangerous life. She's lived on the edge. Now she's got to do the duty. So this is cool, man. This is cool. But let me know what you guys think down below. If you like anything I had to say, hit that like button, comment, rate, subscribe, and share. I'll greatly appreciate it. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome day.